The Maryland Poison Center celebrates its 40th year. Hello, I'm Kelly Lynn, and this is Comcast Newsmakers. Joining me at this hour is Dr. Bruce Anderson. He is director of the Maryland Poison Center. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Tell people a little bit about the Poison Center. What is your mission?
Well, we're the place that you call when something bad happens. It has to do with a toxin or a chemical or some sort of a substance. So we're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. All you have to do is dial 800-222-122. You get directly connected to either a pharmacist or nurse that has additional toxicology training and certification. So if you have a young child that happens to get into some cleaner underneath the kitchen sink, who do you call? You can call the Maryland Poison Center. Somebody's there all the time. It doesn't matter if it's a child at home that gets into something or your teenager that's trying to abuse something to get high, somebody that's mixed some garden chemicals together and they've splashed back at them. It doesn't matter what the exposure is. Give us a call. We'll be happy to help.
And many people, when things like that happen, will go to the emergency room, but you say that you can handle those emergencies.
Well, a lot of times when we get calls about poisoning substances, we can handle those cases at home and provide directions to people so they can immediately take action to try and prevent any sort of problem from developing and actually prevent the need from going into the emergency department in the first place. And oftentimes, who does the emergency department call? When they have a toxic exposure, a lot of times they'll call us.
Tell me about the relationship between the Poison Center and the University of Maryland School of Pharmacy.
So the University of Maryland School of Pharmacy has been hosting this program, the service program, for the past 40 years. We're trying to get the word out and make sure people understand that there's this really cool resource that's in place and that the University of Maryland School of Pharmacy has been supporting it for the past 40 years.
All right, and so do you have students at the School of Pharmacy who also assist at the Poison Center?
Well, we do have students. They're pharmacy students as well as emergency medicine residents and pediatrics residents, and all sorts of people come to the Poison Center as part of an educational experience. But the folks that are primarily providing the service are health professionals, either pharmacists or nurses that are on the phones 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
All right, and how busy are you on a typical day?
We get a fair number of calls. It's about 65,000 total calls per year. It works out to about 150 to 200 calls per day.
All right, since I have you sitting here, I really want to put information out there that will help make households safer. What can parents do? What are some of the first steps that they can take to prevent these incidents from happening altogether?
The first thing is to recognize that they can happen. And once you recognize that kids can get into things, you tend to think about them a little bit differently. And maybe we'll take something that was out on the counter, you know, the cough medicine that you were leaving out as a reminder for your husband to use when the child wakes up. Instead of keeping it out on the counter, lock it away. Make sure that the kids don't have access to it at all. Same thing with cleaning supplies. As soon as you start to recognize that poisoning is a potential problem, you start to look around your house and think a little bit differently about where you keep things and how you store things.
All right, so if you have small children in the home, definitely lock things up. How often do you see adults having poisoning accidents, and what are some of the common mistakes that we're making? So
that's a really good question. I mean, if you think about poisoning, a lot of times people think about kids getting into stuff, little kids getting into the things in their environment accidentally, and that's true. About half of our calls involve little children getting into things that are just part of the environment. But that means the other half involve everybody else that gets exposed to stuff. So people could have questions or problems about their medication. They could end up taking their spouse's medication by accident, or they could double dose on a medicine. You know, I thought I took my medicine this morning. I wasn't sure. I took another dose, and then I realized, oh my gosh, I took too much. Or you could have a situation where somebody's trying to get high or misuse drugs that are in the home. So again, we're the place that you can call to get information right away to help deal with that poisoning problem.
All right, give that number one more time.
It's 1-800-222-1222.
And if people want to learn more about you, they can also go to your website, which is mdpoison.com.
That's exactly right.
All right, very nice. Dr. Bruce Anderson, thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
And we thank you for watching Comcast Newsmakers. If you'd like more information about events happening in your community, go to Comcast On Demand and click Get Local. I'm Kelly Lynn. I'll see you soon.